4 straight wins, and Lane Kiffin brings his Owls strolling in with confidence. That man, Chris Robinson, playing the best football of his young career at quarterback. But what about his counterpart, Isaiah Green, with his Marshall squad that was picked to win Conference USA before the season starts? But if they're going to do it, they got to get a win tonight on the road. And you're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, brought to you by Geico. Huge matchup in Conference USA. What's that?
They're polar opposites. They're totally different as far as scope, personality, approach. Love it.
All right, FAU had won the toss all 6 games this year. That ended tonight. Marshall won it and elected to receive. Levias does line up as a wide receiver, and he does here in the slot. Big man, 3 FAU tacklers, Devon Brown.
Big bodies again, tight ends, split out, trying to find some of those matchups.
Green, pocket
There's
hole.
one.
There's one of them. Gaines makes the grab inside the 15. So 4th and 2, Justin Roasser perfect on the season. This is a 30-yard kick. And it is good. So we talked about Marshall scoring first. It's not a touchdown, but they are on the board first on the road. And that's a receiver. That's not the tight end with Bryant and Rain. Robinson, designed run. Hodge lowered the head. Check that. Devontae Beckett first to meet him in the hole. Maybe a loss of 1. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Robinson, really impressive so far.
And they want to go quick. Handoff, met in the hole. Great play, Tyler Brown.
Because that's what he's got to do to maximize the guys he's dealt.
Pitch it out to Knox. Got a good block on the edge. Falls forward to the 29-yard line. Devon Brown, the safety, investigated. They cleared him of all charges. He was reinstated in June. And Danny, he said the thought of losing football really what has changed his game to make this, as he's gone down for a 3-yard loss.
A big target on the outside.
All of this so far without Bryant. Robinson kept it, faked everyone out. That's going to draw a flag.
No, it's not.
Kerryon Morrell tripped over John Mitchell before the ball got there.
What are you doing? What are you doing
throw.
playing official here? Watch this coverage. This was actually pretty good coverage and a heck of a throw, almost completed. I think he did a pretty good job with the offhand.
You're not serious, are you?
I am being 100% serious. I thought that was step-for-step coverage.
We're going to have to go back to that.
We will. We'll see who's right.
I'm just saying
And
what
I'm
everybody watching was
look
saying.
out.
Antoine is drilled. The ball is loose.
That's an incomplete.
Incomplete on the field. Big time hit by Micah Abraham, and Antoine wants to tap out.
Boy, this ball was trouble from the get-go. You saw Chris Robinson really floated over the defensive line. While that ball's in the air, that puts the back in a really tough spot.
Marco has seen a lot of great players in the history of Marshall football. 150 years of college football, but I'm not sure there has ever been a player in Huntington, West Virginia better than Randy Moss, whose first career game against an FBS opponent came in his 2nd year there, 97, a couple of touchdowns against West Virginia. And Doc Holliday, who was an assistant towards the end of his tenure at West Virginia before moving on to NC State there in 1997. Marshall had the lead in that game, and we talked to Coach Holliday last night about seeing Randy Moss, and he said there just aren't guys built like that, and there aren't many people who aren't quarterbacks who just make your jaw drop when you watch them play football. 3rd drive, handoff, different running back. That's Sheldon Evans, breaks off a long run, gets it out to the 40. It's an 18-yard pickup.
And that's what this Marshall offense has been lacking so far tonight, to take some of the load off Isaiah Green. See Evans get to the outside, breaks 1 tackle.
Larry McCammon III was the back, but a sack. Jamari Edwards last week had his first sack of his career, and the redshirt sophomore from Miami just picked up another one.
How many sacks did they have last week, Jason? 8 and a half, 8. This is going to be a big problem for FAU. If they cannot get up front, get it done, Chris Robinson's going to be running for his life all day long. Another one here, they're not worried about getting beat over the top.
Pressure up the middle, good throw, and Levias carrying defenders, gets a block. Levias racing towards the end zone. You wanted a big play, and your tight end just broke one off for 59 yards.
There we go. Isaiah Green gives him a nice catchable ball. FAU said wasn't worried about the back end. That makes them susceptible to that big play. Remember, risk versus reward. They took the risk with the blitz. That puts all the secondary on an island. They have to make those open fields.
A couple of weeks ago, but this is strength from your big man.
Yep, and I was just giving Isaiah Green a hard time about not giving his tight end a catchable ball. That ball was perfectly thrown right in stride for Levias so he could continue on the move.
Well, here's the other thing,
Look
too.
Look at 3 defenders. Those big tight ends are hard to bring down. From Levias, this is a pretty nice throw and catch. You bring pressure. They still had the safety back, even with the blitz, but you got to make that tackle in the open field. Again, you have to avoid the big plays.
Now, Devin Singletary got a lot of credit. He had 32 touchdowns. Robinson, design run, and absolutely nowhere to go. Tavante Beckett, leading tackler who had 60 coming into the game, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
This FAU offensive line is struggling up front. This is a designed quarterback draw, and you see penetration right away. Nowhere to run for Chris Robinson. The other one, you wanted the pass interference. I thought it was good coverage. That one, a little more contact they got away with.
I see. When you start talking about quarterbacks not getting what they want. Davidson, Tavante Beckett, met at the line and driven back. Marshall's defense starting to play better. FAU always likes to go fast after big hitters. Robinson again back to the air. Pressure up the middle. He gets hit. Now he goes down.
Throw it away. Find a way to just get rid of that ball. Throw it out of bounds. Keep your team out of this situation. I'm sure that's what Lane Kiffin will have a conversation with Robinson when they watch this film. Trying to go the big play strike back to back. You saw that pump fake. But then right there, find a way to throw it away. He's pretty athletic, Chris Robinson is. Get rid of that football instead of taking the sack and finding yourself in this 2nd and forever situation.
Kobe Cumberlander on the sack. So last week for Marshall, you're talking about 8 sacks, tied for the 2nd most in school history and the most for them in 15 years, and they got a couple here in the 2nd quarter. Robinson on 2nd and 22. That's Hames off the edge. He takes off. Hames makes the tackle with Rodney Kroom. And so 3rd and super long again for FAU.
Robinson running for his life a lot of this night. Find your check down. You see the running back right in your screen at the top left? Find him. Let those guys. He'll hold it in there a long time reading it.
And that's Jordan Brooks West, who was going in motion. Troney kept it and lost a yard. Marshall safety Brandon Drayton. Green back on the field after a pick. Hands it off. Knox with a huge hole. Forget the penalty. Knox out over the 25. He's off to the races at the 40. And Knox finally shoved out at midfield. 43 yards for Brendan Knox.
Look at all the pressure, all those red jerseys. They're trying to go for that knockout blow to get that safety. The problem with that is, if you get past that first wave of defenders, you're susceptible. Remember I said risk versus reward?
So at the penalty, it's 1st and 5. Marshall has scored every time that FAU is at a defensive penalty tonight. Gives it off to Knox. Breaks another tackle. Knox into the secondary. Another broken tackle. Down to the 4-yard line. The redshirt sophomore from Columbus. This drive has been all about Brendan Knox.
And this Marshall offensive line has done a fantastic job, but Brendan Knox making that, you got to make, as a running back, there's going to be somebody on block most of the time. You got to make a guy miss.
If you don't get it on 3rd, are you going for it on 4th? They're on the doorstep, trying to tie it up. Knox again, reaching for the goal line. No signal yet.
Man, I thought he was in. Easy.
Touchdown, Marshall.
Doc Holliday was way out in the field. I think he was saying the same thing I was. What is taking so long? This is a big power lineup. See all those tight ends lined up in the backfield to get all those big bodies moving forward and let the back take it in. That's a pretty good push up front. And then you just find a little crease in there to find a way across the goal line. You've got to give Brendan Knox a lot of credit, as well to that offensive line. That was a really nice hole that opened up on this big play when FAU brought a blitz and made them vulnerable to the big play on the back end. They see Knox, patient runner, shaking a couple tacklers, getting out in the open field, showcasing the ability to make guys miss. The power running at the end of these runs is really impressive. Those hidden yardage from Chris Robinson to his big tight end.
Went for 11. The handoff to Davidson right into the Marshall defense. It's led by Drayton making the tackle
to run it on the inside.
That's Bryant in motion. Robinson, pressure right in his face again. Tyler Brown right off the edge. The homegrown from Huntington, West Virginia gets the sack. That's the third for the Thundering Herd.
Yep, they've been getting after it. That time bringing pressure. You get run on a couple times. Brad Lambert, defensive coordinator in that.
Not as much as you'd think with a coach who talks about going for it on fourth down as much as he does. Robinson, pressure right in his face. Gotta get rid of it. He can't. Channing Hames right from the snap up the middle, and a turnover on downs for Marshall's defense. Robinson, nowhere to go. They don't take the points. We're still tied.
Just a couple big plays. They're going to keep hammering Brendan Knox, which is going to present some opportunities outside.
Green keeps it, throws it short to Devin Miller. Breaks a couple more tackles and falls forward. That ball's out. It's still loose, and it's picked up by Marshall. Miller still not back on the field. That's Gaines closer to the line. Hand off to Knox. He's now over 100 yards, and a lot more again. Brendan Knox out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Third time over 100 yards this year.
All right, we're giving a lot of credit to Brendan Knox, but this offensive line deserves a lot of love. Opening up some holes up front for Brendan Knox to run through, then he does the rest.
Instead, it's 2nd and 10. Ball at the Florida Atlantic 36. Green on the keeper. Breaks another tackle, and he's got 10 yards.
Isn't it amazing how when you start running the ball effectively, everything else just opens up? We're seeing receivers run open down the field. Now we're seeing the quarterback get involved. You see the little fake to Knox up the middle. Every defender attracts towards him, which allows Isaiah Green to bounce it out to the outside.
Knox breaks it to the outside. Gashing FAU inside the 5. Knox finally taken out of bounds, but not before he sets up 1st and goal. Rohrwasser hit from 30. He is a perfect 6 for 6 on the season. This from 25 to give Marshall the lead. Still perfect. Thundering Herd take the 4th down stop. Add a field goal on the road.
For squeezing through those holes, getting to the quarterback.
On 1st down, Robinson play action again. Pressure right up the middle. This time he gets rid of it and throws it out of bounds.
But Chris Robinson has nowhere to step up to, and there's no pocket.
Robinson again, patted down. Omari Cobb got his hands in the air, and it's 3rd down for this Marshall defense that came in. They've been giving up yards on the ground a ton this season, but tonight's totally different story.
Omari Cobb is getting blocked. Oh, excuse me, right there. Getting blocked, you got a body on you. If you can't get to the quarterback, the next best thing you can do.
Already been stopped on a 4th down here in the 3rd quarter. Plenty of time on the play clock. Now they got to move. Robinson to Davidson, and he's met behind the line. One more time, Marshall gets the stop. Furman Silva, the FIU grad transfer, getting the stop on Lane Kiffin.
The Marshall defense getting it done. Short yard, it's 4th down. They need a stop. They come up with a big one and get the ball back. Give it to Isaiah Green and company.
Robinson, pressure again, sacked in the end zone. Tyler Brown got him for a safety. Now there was a flag thrown at the 6-yard line, but Robinson ran back into his own end zone and couldn't escape the sack.
chop block, offense, number 16. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is a safety.
Yeah, when the players engage, when there's an offensive lineman and you come up to make a block, you cannot engage the lower half of the body, which clearly FAU did there. The up back, as Harrison Bryant coming up there, went too low, so they were all over it, but then you see the pressure by Marshall, and that is a safety all day long. A little bit of miscommunication in any case.
Kind of hard to throw the ball away when you throw it right at your receiver's face.
No, he lifted up his hands.
Play action again, pressure in Green's face from two guys. This one just throws it out there and it's caught. David Richardson makes the grab and it's a first down on his first catch of the night.
Man, that was a dangerous throw, but how impressive was it? Isaiah Green knows he's got to come back on the outside, throws it way before the receiver's out of his break, but throws it perfectly. Nice job by the receiver, Taven Richardson, going to get that ball out, extending his arms. If he sits back and lets that ball come to his, that's batted down.
Well, and remember, Marshall playing without Brock Thompson. That's just the second catch by a wide receiver tonight. Green has a wide open man downfield. Willie Johnson, touchdown. 60 yards. He hits his speedy receiver, and the Thundering Herd retake the lead.
This is a straight busted coverage, and I did not know, Jason, I was up here pounding you saying, I don't know if he sees him, but clearly Willie Johnson running wide open. That was a busted coverage by FAU because they had nobody accounting for him. See the inside defenders handing him off to the safeties, and the safeties way too late to the party.
He had missed Willie Johnson a couple of times tonight. That time put it right on him. To the corner, and it's bounced, and it's incomplete. Xavier Gaines, they call it a catch. Xavier Gaines, they said he got his hands underneath it, and I guarantee we're going to look at this.
My observation would be, man, this was an easy touchdown, or an extra conversion if he keeps it up high. But Gaines,
wow,
spectacular job of getting his hands underneath, bringing it to his chest.
FAU trying to keep pace with Western Kentucky atop the East Division. Both unbeaten in conference so far. The handoff. And McCammon's wrapped up. The ball didn't come out.
Oh.
Picked up by Couch, but he was down. Davidson was down.
Malcolm Davidson has not had the best night. Not a lot of holes to run with.
I don't know that ball is down.
I think that's out. No, I think that ball's out. They're going to snap this quick enough where it won't matter.
They got to take a look at that. That ball was definitely out. There was no whistle down to review that. Robinson makes the grab, but incomplete. Mitchell sliding out of bounds when he made the grab. We got to go back to that fumble by Davidson.
Well, there he is. There's ankles are wrapped up, but that knee, there is a lot of space there between the knee and the ground, and the ball is out. You were right.
That's a missed call.
Yeah.
That's one that the replay official has to whistle down and at least take a look at it.
To keep protecting him. I'll watch see if Brad Lambert starts to pressure a little bit, bring some more blitzes. Showing blitz here potentially. Yep.
There's the pressure. Free run. Omari Cobb gets the sack and a 10-yard loss for FAU.
They brought everybody from all angles. And they brought more than FAU could handle, which tells me that's got to be on Robinson, aware of that situation. Think about this, third down, you got three tight ends in the game. Not your typical set third and long.
Green dances, buys space, eyes downfield, throws it to Gamage, makes the grab and has the first down. Corey Gamage out across the 40 with his first catch of the night.
Boy, what a fantastic play by two people. Isaiah Green buying the time, realizing what's at stake. I have to make a play. Let me buy something. But then how about Gamage? The field awareness. He knows he doesn't have the first down. He's got to make a move, jukes it back inside, and picks it up. Great play.
2nd and 10, approaching 2 minutes. Thundering Herd, still 2 timeouts. Green over the middle, that's caught. Devin Miller near the first down marker, about a yard shy.
Bad penalty after the play, but here's a look at Knox. Burst through that line of scrimmage. And a pretty nice tackle by the secondary, but this is coming back. There was some extracurricular activity with FAU and 2 Marshall offensive linemen after the play. And I think this is going to be on a Marshall offensive lineman.
Back to Knox, dances to the outside, great block.
Ooh.
Levias with the block and knocks the hurdle inside the 25. Clock will stop as he gets out of bounds, but he picks up a first down, and now you're in field goal range. And again, you get the first down here, you can do whatever you want. Set it up for Roasser or take the ball. Knox has the first down, carrying the defense. Touchdown, Marshall. Forget the field goal.
How many times have we seen a short yardage situation, a bunch of bodies up around the line of scrimmage, and then Knox bursts through the hole to that second level? And man, is he tough to tackle in the open field. What a play for Marshall. And Brendan Knox, our player of the game, showcased why. We might have given it too early. We didn't even need that.
His second touchdown of the night. Danny, remember, before the last 3 minutes of the second quarter,
Marshall.
Brendan Knox had 3 carries for 10 yards. He has 22 for 190 in this ballgame. Marshall has 7 sacks tonight, too. That's the other part. They only bring 3. Robinson, all kinds of time. It's up for grabs, and it's intercepted. Stephen Gilmore stepped in front of the pass. The first turnover of tonight, and it's going to end the game.
Boy, Robinson, this is a really tough throw to make. On the opposite hash, you're going way across the field. That ball is in the air a long time, and Gilmore read that perfectly, stepping right in front of John Mitchell. And this is just a comeback on the outside. The route.
Timeout. Marshall. Their last.
Protection's there. Everything's good, except the defender read it the whole way. Stephen Gilmore saw that ball and broke on it before the receiver did.
How about that? Brad Lambert, like, you're going to turn around and you're going to go back and say, okay, yeah, there's 31 points scored. It feels like his defense played a lot better than that. Ken Ante was just going down the line saying, let them go. Right, they're going to take an E. FAU does have a timeout left. Lane Kiffin's not going to take it. 5 second half lead changes, and the Thundering Herd and Isaiah Green, a comeback win on the road at FAU for Doc Holliday. He moves to 10-3 in the state of Florida the last 6 years.